everybody, this is Techie Prepper, and I'm coming to you today with my solution to helping out relatives, family members, friends that really aren't on board with prepping, and what I do with them. The other thing is, this is kind of a stash for me, a cache, if you will. So if I end up bugging out and go to another location, this is what I would pick up from my family's house, friend's house, what have you. So basically the top part, I haven't included in the price list, but you can get pretty much everything that's inside the tub, except for the fuel, for around 26 bucks plus a little tax. So we're looking at under $30 for this box. And then the top items are just some things that I threw in. You know, this is a 99-cent first aid kit, right? It doesn't cover very much, but it's got some immediate uses. You know, a few things that will just take care of minor discomfort and pain, get you cleaned up, and hopefully taken care of. Secondly, I do have a triangular bandage. I make these myself from muslin that I purchased at Walmart. So just a really simple, cheap thing to do. Have some wet ones. Always good to have good hygiene. I have some gun cleaning implements. These are really just backups to what I would already have. Of course, we have fire starting. We all know that's important. I have a cork. In the horrible case that you need to blend in the night, you need to black out yourself or other things, that's useful. Super glue and tie wraps. You can do pretty much anything with super glue, duct tape, and tie wraps. So I put those in there. I'm a contact wearer, so I do keep an extra case that has contacts in it that I've previously worn but don't need any longer, and also the eye drops and all that. And then the last item, just a tiny bit of ammo, 40 rounds of 223 and 50 rounds of 45 for my primary weapons. So then we'll get into the box, and like I said before, pretty much all of this except for the fuel. Again, this is to accompany my stove that I would probably be traveling with anyway, and would be enough to cook pretty much everything in this box. If you have any questions on my stove, check out my jet boil video. It goes over that pretty well. So what I did is I went to this supermarket and to Walmart and picked up a few different things. I put it all together here. This is how much it cost, how many calories per package, and then the total calories. So this tub contains about 15,500 calories. Some of the drink mixes and stuff I didn't write down here because I didn't feel that it was that important to keep track of every calorie. So what would this box do? Well, if I were just to show up at my family's house and this box hadn't been touched, and it was only me traveling, I could get almost 8 days of 2,000 calories per day. If I'm willing to eat a little bit less, it's 10 days. Even less, I could get up to almost 13 days out of this box. And that's still, you know, obviously you can survive without food for a while. This box does not take into account water, so that's something also that you would have to think about. This is my primary thing that I'm worried about, is having a little bit of food at any location for either the occupants of that house or for myself, if need be. You know, when it gets down to it, if you want to have 8 people, which is a higher number than I would have in any of these houses that I leave a box like this at, the highest number would be 6. But this is only going to give you 2 days of low-calorie eating. But you know what? That could give you the extra 2 days that you need. So anyway, let's go over some of the things that are inside here. First of all, we have your minute rice. this is easy to do just with your jet boil. You don't have to cook rice for an extended period of time. Okay, or you don't have to cook this rice. If you had regular rice, you would have to cook it for an extended period of time. Now, it's also important that I mentioned at this point, this will be packaged up into food saver bags. I haven't done that yet because I wanted everybody to kind of see what the items were that I put in there, and be able to instantly recognize them when they went to the store if they wanted to get similar items. So this is going to be the base of a lot of the meals in Minute Rice. I have a Hershey Kiss here that I got as a present, just a little gag thing. And I threw it in here because I don't really eat chocolate regularly. So I figure for someone else that would be a big deal, having something like that. Let's go over drinks right now. So I'm a big proponent of having things that'll make you comfortable. And so cocoa, it really does bring up morale if it's a cold day. Just make everybody feel better. So you could have this, depending on how many people, a couple of times perhaps. A big thing in just making people happier. And I didn't include these. Oh, I did include these in the counts because it is 140 calories in each one of these bags. So you get a little bit of sustenance or energy as well. Secondly, we have 12 of these single serve Starbucks Via packs. Again, you just add water, you've got coffee. To go along with that, we have some Coffee Mate. This could also be used to enhance the flavor of the oatmeal if you felt like it. Also, as far as beverages go, we have these Energy Rush 4C mixes. You just pour these into a regular sports bottle, shake them and go, and it provides you with more energy. So if you needed to be able to stay up for a little while to watch the premises, to do something to help an injured person, whatever it might be, these would give you a little more energy. And so that seems pretty valuable to me. Another item is these Propel Zeros. No calories in there, but it does give you some vitamins and replenishes your necessary stuff. And I'm totally blanking on the word right now. But anyway, it's very helpful to have these. I even have those when I'm hungover, and it really makes a difference. Okay. Also in here, a couple of Cliff Bars, easy to pack and go. And we get into some of the other items. For breakfast, my main item here is apples and cinnamon, oatmeal, and these will also get food savored. I combine 2 packages into one food saver bag, seal it up, and that'll give me a little more long-lasting storage. These aren't particularly good if you get wet as is, because they come in little paper bags, and that would ruin them. I don't anticipate them getting wet, but you never know what's going to happen in a situation. Also in here, we've got dinner meals. We've got 2 different stovetop stuffing mixes here. You've seen the chicken mix that I do. If you've seen my jet boil ad or thing, these are great because they're dry. They're not heavy. You just add water, and it doesn't have to be cooked on the stove. You just add the water, let it sit. I also have some white chicken breasts that I would throw in there if I were making it, as well as a bunch of different tuna packs here. So like this one, the sweet and spicy goes great with rice. Just open it up, pour it on top of hot rice. You're good to go. These would go great in the stovetop stuffing, or just thrown in with some other items. A lot of the items in here you just combine up and make all kinds of different meals. I've got the tuna salads here. These guys could make a little snack, lunch, that kind of thing. Throw them on top of Triscuits. I would make those fun to eat. I really like Triscuits. I've opened packages that were 2 years past the expected date, and they were perfectly fine. I didn't really notice any taste difference. Also, to go along with the Triscuits, or just eat as is, some creamy peanut butter. There's a ton of calories in this little container, and it would also be useful if you needed to bait something, bait a trap. Very good for that. We of course have the classic ramen noodle packs. I actually don't use the flavor pack from in here, but I will use the noodles. And the noodles would go great with either the chicken or the tuna, or just on their own with some seasoning. Have some grated cheese. This actually I use for the spaghetti, which I forgot to toss into the box, but that would be on the spaghetti. Tabasco sauce, terrific for making any bland meal a little more interesting. Can of beans. Again, this could go with pretty much anything. Mrs. Dash. A big key is going to make this food easy to eat, right, or yummy to people. Seasoned salt. Again, I'm putting these boxes together to place in people's houses who aren't necessarily survival minded, so they're not going to be ready to just chow down on rice and beans. In fact, I'm not ready to do that. As long as I can, this is a cheap item to add, and it does add a lot of flavor to them. Then we've also got 3 different bags of these Idahoan potatoes. Again, this is something that you just pour hot water in, and you're good to go. Let it sit for a little bit. Really great tasting stuff. And talk about giving you that little bit of home cooking taste. And the one other item I throw in here, 5-hour energy. The obvious. If you need to stay awake, that would be really helpful. So, anyway, this is just kind of an idea of what I did for, about $30. Not counting the few extra items I showed you on top and the fuel. And I just ask my family members, hey, can I store these items at your house? And often I'll take that over with, something else. Maybe I need to store some tools or welder or what have you. And so this is a fairly innocuous box, but I could tell them, hey, when the storm hits or there's some kind of trouble, just say, hey, remember when I left those few items at your house? Well, one of them is a blue tote, and it's full of a week's worth of food for one person, or, whatever. And just give them the peace of mind that they have a little bit put back. If they weren't needing those items, then, it's something that I could always pick up as a cash. But chances are, this is just kind of keeping my family and friends safe, or at least fed in a short-term emergency. So, anyway, let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe up top, and let me know what you would include. The items that you didn't see here, spaghetti, I forgot to put in the box, but 2 pounds of spaghetti will go a long way. And the only other item I would say would be some batteries. It would be helpful to have some AA's in there to recharge my system. Most of my stuff works off of AA's, ham radio, etc. And so, if I were using this as a cache, it would be handy to have that. This is also, sorry to ramble on here, but this is a box that you could have that's easy to pick up and go, right? Add it onto your bug out bag. It gives you another week. You could have each one of these. See, you stored 6 of them in your house. That's another 6 weeks maybe that you could last 2 people. And these items would be easy to throw into your vehicle. You're not talking about lugging around a 50-pound tote. This is just a small little Rubbermaid tote, and I think fully loaded it weighs like 25 pounds, somewhere in that range, ammo and everything included. So it's kind of a modular approach to survival, and in the case that you have to get out, this would be a great little thing to take with you. So anyway, talk to you guys soon.